Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I built this mobile tool cart for my 4 benchtop power tools. Alright, good morning YouTubers. It's Friday after Christmas, and I forget what date it is, but doesn't really matter. So out here working on a project, and actually I've got several projects going all at one time here. But looking for a solution to hold some of my bench tools. So got a couple of Christmas presents, got an old bandsaw. I think I did a video on that. So what I'm looking to build is some type of mobile cart that holds all of these tools. And I've actually got one other tool that I want to try to fit onto this cart as well. And it's a bench sander. So what I've come up with is I'm going to build a simple 30-inch wide by 24-inch deep by 36-ish inches tall mobile cart that's going to be on casters, so I can roll it around. And I'm going to mount these 3 tools to the top of the cart. So I'll have my grinder and my drill press on the front of the cart, and I'll have my bandsaw back on that end of the cart on the back side, arranged such that I can get access kind of no matter what I do. But I'm mindful that I'm going to use the grinder and the drill press the most. So when the cart is up against the wall, I'll have access to the front 2 tools, and actually the 4th tool as well. I'll talk about that in just a second. And then if I want to use the bandsaw, I'll just have to pull the cart away from the wall and turn the cart around, which is not a big deal because I don't really expect to use the bandsaw a lot. But if I orient it such that the open end of the bandsaw is away from the drill press, I'll have pretty much unlimited infeed coming into the bandsaw from that side. So I think this is what I'm going to do. In the middle of the cart, I'm going to mount a drawer. I'm going to make a shelf on slides that slides out, and I'm going to have a shelf holding the bench sander. So when I want to use the sander, I just pull the shelf out the front, use the sander, and then push it back in, and it stores away. So I think it's pretty clever use of real estate. It's only going to take up 30 inches by 24 inches. It's going to be the same height as my workbench. It'll be mobile. I can probably figure out how to put the power cords into a power strip such that all I've got to do is plug the cart in, the power strip power, and I'll have power to all 4 tools. And I think it'll be exactly what I need for my shop. So I'm going to get busy here cutting some wood. I'm using this just junk plywood from Home Depot. I got to tell you, it's the worst stuff I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how it is they think they can charge you $30-something for a piece of plywood that's warped, chip out on the edges. The stuff's not even 3/4 of an inch thick. It's a millimeter or 2 short. As far as I'm concerned, it's not even worthy of using for a cart like this. But I'm gonna use it anyway because I bought it for a different project, and it just wasn't gonna work for that project because it's just junk. So I'll turn the junk plywood into a mobile cart and make the best of the money that I've spent. I did buy the casters at Harbor Freight. I kind of wanted locking casters, but they want way too much money for a decent locking caster. So I ended up just getting the regular casters. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And if it becomes a problem, I'll devise a method to make sure the cart doesn't move. But these were like $5 a piece, I think. All in 20 bucks, plus another tool I got. But I think the cheap casters are just fine for this project. and I think I've got enough plywood, and now I'm just figuring out the dimensions, and I'll come back to you when I cut up the plywood. All right, so these are the two sides, so we'll label them. This was the bottom. Okay. Alright, so I got 2 more cuts to make, and looking at my plan, I need the top and the bottom to be 30 inches wide. So that's those 2. So let's make those cuts first. Just so happens my saw goes to 30 inches. Okay, so that's the top and the bottom. Now the sides are 28 7/8. (28 7/8). All right. So that does it, folks. Moving on to the next step, which is assembly.